Ladies and gentlemen, I spoke to you previously about the importance of preserving biodiversity for plant life. I'd now like to go on to explain an initiative led by the Norwegian government. It has the aim of ensuring that plant biodiversity is guaranteed for future generations. For this, we will have to travel to the archipelago of Svalbard. This is a group of Norwegian islands north of mainland Norway. These islands are inside the Arctic Circle, so as you can imagine, it can get a bit chilly. In this inhospitable part of the world, a seed vault was opened in 2008. It is intended to be a backup for the many seed banks around the world. Seed banks exist all over the planet in order to store seeds for future use. There are currently 1,750 seed banks around the world, and they all act as storehouses for the world's biodiversity. The Svalbard seed vault aims to act as an extra bulwark against ecological disaster. To illustrate the need for a seed vault of this type, we can just look at what has happened to some of the many seed banks around the globe. In January 2012, the National Seed Bank of the Philippines was destroyed by fire. Before that, the very same seed bank was damaged by flooding. However, natural disasters or accidents are not the only risk. War can also threaten the safety of the world's seeds. The national seed banks of Afghanistan and Iraq were destroyed as a result of recent conflict. In addition to this, concerns have been raised recently about the safety of the main seed bank in Syria, because of the armed conflict in the country. However, many of the unique seed species in this Syrian bank are now safe for the future, since the Svalbard seed vault has recently stored many of them away. As well as this consignment, 25,000 other seed samples came in from a number of countries, including Colombia, Costa Rica, and Tajikistan, last February. The Svalbard vault boasts incredible protection measures. It has 2 airlocks. The vault is located at the end of a tunnel sunk 160 meters deep into the earth. It is maintained at a constant temperature of -18 degrees. The seed vault lies deep below the permafrost at the surface. This is serious disaster preparedness. If its electricity were cut, the vault would take 2 centuries to warm to 0 degrees Celsius. The preparations for any possible disaster are clear as soon as you take a glance at the plan for the vault. For example, the tunnel head was specially designed to deflect the force of a missile strike. And all of these measures have been put in place for a very good reason. The vault contains samples of around 2/3 of the world's stored crops. And it will not stop here. The Norwegian government has provided $50 million in funding to collect more seeds to be stashed away. So you can see that a lot of money is being invested in this initiative. But is it really money well spent? Well, let me remind you once again of how important this project is. The FAO has made an estimate of how much plant biodiversity has been lost in recent years. This estimate is that 75% of the planet's plants have been lost from our fields. And there are plenty more startling statistics that we could look at. For example, India is reckoned to have had over 100,000 varieties of rice a century ago. This number has now been reduced to a few thousand. America once had around 5,000 apple varieties, and now has only a few hundred. And these estimates are said to be on the conservative side. One way of trying to halt this loss of biodiversity is by building more seed banks. The seed vault in Svalbard represents the world's most daring attempt yet at solving the problem. There are many complaints that this will not be enough, however. For instance, some bring up the point that plants that do not produce seeds are not stored there. One example is bananas. However, we should all applaud this very daring attempt to help save the biodiversity of our planet. Thank you.